Hi everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about why everybody, especially the internet, seems to hate Mazepin. So the 2021 F1 season is off to a great start, not without some controversy, of course, whether it's regulatory changes or other juicy gossip centered around this year's new drivers. Now at the center of some of these memes and internet jokes is Haas's rookie racer and Mick Schumacher's teammate Nikita Mazepin, or as many are calling him, Mazepin. We're going to dive into what seems to be the problem here, why everybody almost unequivocally hates Mazepin. Of course, he does have some fans, but it seems like the vast majority of people out there are not a fan. What's the deal? Is it that he has a famous egg-shaped head? Is it the fact that his face is very punchable? Memeable? Both Haas drivers this year, Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher, have some things in common. For one, they're both 22 years old, and for another, they're pretty much on the team because of their fathers. However, the internet has a problem with one and maybe not so much the other. In fact, people are going so far as to comment on his very first Instagram photo ever, telling him to stop driving, to step down, and people are taking bets on how long he'll actually last. Now, he's signed a multi-year deal with Haas, so we're gonna have to get used to him. But before we begin, in case you haven't, let's check out just some of the internet's greatest artistry, i.e. Reddit and Twitter. So people just really hate the shape of his head. We also have this sort of thing based off of the beginning of the Bahrain race. Spoiler alert, he didn't last long. I'm obviously kind of remaining a neutral party here, but I don't understand some of the stuff that this man posts on his Instagram. What is this photo? It's very peculiar. It's very unsettling. It's great that he's doing a morning training session with this man, but what happened here? This photo looks like it's been tampered with. I don't know. You be the judge of that and let me know in the comments. Finally, we have Hamilton was off track longer than Mazepin was on it. And of course, who could forget? This is like a meta meme. Mazepin flies to the Suez Canal to spin the ship around. So as you can see, the internet has shown him no mercy. Like I said, they're going way back into the archives. First Instagram photo ever, just shooting their shot, telling him to step down. For any of you who have watched the third season of Drive to Survive, the Haas team does talk about how they were in desperate need of sponsorship money for the 2021 season. And that is ultimately why they took a $25 million sponsorship deal from Mazepin's very own father, Dmitry Mazepin, who we'll get into in a moment. The TLDR version of that is they picked Mazepin to be their driver this year because his father is wealthy, and they pretty much admitted that. Let's take a moment to rewind and talk through what brought the young driver to F1 in the first place. The 22-year-old Nikita Mazepin is from Russia, and it is his very first F1 season yet. Oddly enough, when you actually try to get into his life and his background on Wikipedia and on various other news sources, really the only two things about his background, and this is just, I think this encapsulates why everyone's so upset. It's who his father is and the Instagram scandal. Let's start with who his father is. Dmitry Mazepin is a Russian oligarch and billionaire. He is the chair, the majority shareholder, and the founder of Uralchem Integrated Chemical Companies. If that sounds familiar to you, it's because you've seen it plastered all over the Haas team. Current net worth estimated $1.2 billion. That's gone down about $0.2 billion over the past couple years. So, the second thing that you find in Nikita's own bio is the Instagram scandal that happened just before the F1 2021 season began. So in a video, and we're not going to get too into this because this does have sensitive and graphic material, it is shown Nikita Mazepin posted this on his Instagram story as a new F1 driver, a lewd video of him grabbing a woman's breast. Now, a lot of people came out and said it was sexual assault. Other people said it wasn't sexual assault. I'm not here to comment on that. What caused the uproar mainly is that this is not really the caliber and the standard to which Formula One holds its drivers. When you get into sports, when you get into celebrity status, there are scandals, there are issues, but in general, I can honestly say that most of the F1 drivers seem like pretty good people. Having a seasoned rookie go on and think that's okay to post on his Instagram when he knows that children look up to him and that he's going to be in the spotlight was pretty tasteless. He was forced, maybe not forced, but he did issue an apology on the statement. Haas and F1 in general came out against it and said that's not the kind of character qualities that they uphold. But regardless, the apology was deleted within 9 days. So is he sorry? I don't know. Now let's get into his racing history. So although a lot of people do hate him because he's on the team because his dad's a billionaire, he does have some racing clout so far. In fact, teammates Mazepin and Schumacher have actually known each other since 2013 when they were teammates at Tony Kart. So he has been driving karting for a while. 2018 was Mazepin's breakthrough year as he ended the GP3 season as vice champion. And then in 2020, he claimed 2 victories in the Formula 2 league. He also briefly served as a development driver on the Force India F1 team. So as you can see, he's no stranger to racing. However, many people think, especially given Haas's straight up admission on why he's on the team, that he may not deserve his place as much as another driver would have. So now that the season is underway, let's get into some predictions. We know everyone hates him, but how's he gonna do in this season? Unfortunately, it's not really off to a great start for the Haas team or Mazepin. In fact, in the preseason interview, Mazepin went on and on to talk about how much more challenging, demanding, and time-consuming this year's F1 practices were. So giddy up, cowboy, because you're not in F2 anymore. If you were watching the Bahrain Grand Prix, you would have noticed that Mazepin crashed and spun out after 2 corners, hence all of the Mazepin and spinning memes. However, it doesn't seem like team principal Gunther Steiner is really too concerned about Haas's performance so far. I quote, "If we can compete with Williams, that's about it. I'm very realistic about that. We're not going to make any effort to do more than that either." He also said, when referencing Mick Schumacher and Mazepin's performance in the Bahrain Grand Prix, "I don't think this will happen to them again. They'll spin again, but not the way they did now." So as you can see, even their team principal isn't really gunning for any incredible performance from either driver or Haas this year. So we'll actually just have to wait until 2022 where Mazepin will still be driving for Haas to see what the team will actually do. Let's get into the conclusion here. I think we've addressed why everybody is so mad, why all of the hate. F1 fans are pretty passionate, and I think a lot of F1 fans like to think that the drivers on their favorite teams really deserve their spot, that they're full of talent and not just because their daddies are billionaires. However, unfortunately, this isn't an entirely new concept to F1. As the most expensive sport in the world, teams have to bring in the drivers that can bring in the money. I'll let you be the judge. Let us know your thoughts in the comment. Do you hate Mazepin? Do you just strongly dislike him? Let us know and hit me up with some of your favorite memes because I'm starting a collection at this point. All right, we will see you next time. Bye.